You've just been in a Florida motorcycle crash. Adrenaline spiking, traffic stacking up, and all you want to do is go home and rest. People are talking, the details are fuzzy, and you're thinking, the police report will have everything, right? But what you do in the next 10 minutes can decide liability and thousands in compensation. Miss key info now, and the insurers will write the rest of the crash later. Hi, I'm Pablo Tamayo, co-founder of Geller Tamayo Injury Law, with over 18 years of experience in handling motorcycle wreck cases here in Florida. So, let's start with the first thing you must not do after a motorcycle accident in Florida. Do not leave the scene before you've collected crucial information, unless, of course, your injuries make that impossible. Now, I know that after a crash, adrenaline is pumping, your head is spinning, there's a lot going on. But here's the thing. In Florida, just like anywhere else, you have a legal responsibility to stay at the scene. Even minor accidents must be reported. More importantly, if you leave too soon and fail to gather the right information, you may be putting yourself at a real disadvantage. If you're able, get out your phone and take photos, lots of them. Snapshots of the vehicles, the road, the weather, the traffic signs, and your motorcycle from multiple angles. Get close-ups of any damage. Take a picture of the other vehicle's license plate, and if you can, the driver's license and insurance card of the other driver, and their damaged vehicle. Don't just get the other driver's contact details either. Look around for witnesses. Ask for their names and contact information. Independent witnesses can make or break a Florida motorcycle claim. Insurance companies and juries trust what neutral third parties say. And even if the police show up and fill out a report, don't assume you'll be able to get their information later. Reports can take days or even weeks to access. Sometimes information gets left out and mistakes happen. If you wait, you may never find that witness who saw the other driver run the red light, or the officer might not write down that key detail you mentioned at the scene. It happens. I had a case last year where my client was hit from behind in traffic in Broward County. He didn't get the witness information because he assumed the police would handle it, and he was dealing with his own injuries. Luckily, we found a witness through another witness we located at the scene, and as it turns out, that first witness had video footage capturing the entire accident. We were lucky that time, but it may not always work out in your favor trying to track down witnesses after the fact. So, even if you're stressed or you're shaken, try your best to gather as much information as possible. If you're too hurt, ask a friend, a bystander, or the police officer to help. Number 2, don't skip medical treatment or just try and tough it out. So the second thing you must not do is skip medical treatment. Whether you think you're just seriously hurt, whether you think you're seriously hurt or just nicked up. Here in Florida, when you're in a motorcycle accident, your health must come first. But I see people make the same mistake over and over. I'll just shake it off. I think I'll be fine. It's just a bruise. My headaches will go away soon enough. Sometimes it's the pride that comes with being a biker. Sometimes it's the shock masking the injury. Sometimes it's just the fear of mounting medical bills. But the truth is, injuries from motorcycle accidents often aren't obvious right away, whether it's soft tissue injuries from whiplash or even head trauma. These can all get much worse in the days and weeks after a crash. If you don't get checked out, you risk your health, but you also risk your legal case. Florida insurance companies look for any excuse to deny or minimize your claim. If you don't go to urgent care, an ER, or your doctor immediately, they'll argue your injuries aren't that serious, or that you got hurt from somewhere else. A gap in treatment, even a few days, can be used against you to minimize your injuries, no matter how reasonable the explanation may be. I had a client in Broward who waited 2 weeks to see a doctor for back pain after a crash. She was a busy professional and just hoped that her pain would go away. But by the time she got help, the insurance company, they claimed the injury must have happened later and from something not from the accident. That made her fight to get her medical bills 10 times harder. So do not just try and tough it out. If you feel pain, dizziness, numbness, or just something off, go get checked out. Follow the doctor's orders. And if you're worried about costs, remember that your medical bills can be claimed as damages. And Florida law requires doctors and hospitals to treat you in emergencies. The third thing you should never do in Florida after a motorcycle accident is give a recorded statement to the other party's insurance company, or even your own, without talking to a lawyer first. Right after a crash, you might get a call from an insurance adjuster. they'll be friendly. They'll just say they just want your side of the story. And they'll often ask if they can record the call for accuracy. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. The truth is, insurance adjusters, they're not on your side. Their job is to find ways to pay as little as possible to you, or nothing at all. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Even innocent statements can be twisted or taken out of context. So let me give you a real Florida example. A client up close to Tampa told an adjuster after the incident that she was just a little shaken up, but hadn't seen a doctor. Well, that statement was used against her later on to argue that the treatment she ended up requiring for her injuries must have been from a different accident or something else altogether. But the adjuster claimed that it wasn't from her accident that we represented her. Well, Florida law doesn't require you to give a recorded statement to the other party's insurance company. If you do have to communicate with insurance, keep it brief and never agree to be recorded without your lawyer present. Your best move is to politely tell any insurance representative, I'm getting medical care and speaking with my attorney before I say anything further. You don't have to be combative, just the facts. Then, actually talk to a Florida personal injury lawyer who handles motorcycle accidents because they know how to protect you and your rights. The fourth mistake you must absolutely avoid is posting about your accident on social media. In today's day and age, it's tempting to update friends and family or even just vent to your followers about what happened. But in a Florida motorcycle accident case, social media can be your worst enemy. Insurance companies and their lawyers routinely search Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, anything out there for evidence. They'll look for posts, photos, comments, or check-ins that try and contradict your claim. Even a simple picture can raise doubts about your injuries or your side of the story, especially if taken out of context, which they will do. I've seen clients post a selfie, smiling in a hospital bed, with a thumbs up. Months later, that photo was tried to be used against them to argue they couldn't have been in such serious pain if they were smiling with the thumbs up. In another case, somebody posted about riding with their friends after an accident. The insurance company used that post to claim his injuries weren't limiting his activities, even though he said he still rode after the accident. So don't just avoid posting about the crash itself. Don't share updates about your recovery, your motorcycle, or your physical activities. Even private messages can end up in court if your case goes that far. In Florida, once you post something online, you can't always control who sees it or how it gets used in court. Don't forget that. If you absolutely need to communicate with loved ones, do it offline or in private. And remember, if you're not sure if something could hurt your case, just don't post it. Your privacy and your claim are worth more than a few likes. Here's the final thing you must not do. Don't wait too long to talk to a lawyer who knows Florida motorcycle accident law. Many Floridians think they can just handle it themselves, or they want to wait and see how serious their injuries are before reaching out. But time is not on your side. Evidence disappears, witnesses forget, and insurance companies start building their case the minute the accident happens. Believe me. Under Florida law, you have a limited window, what's called the statute of limitations, to file your claim in court. For most personal injury cases, you have 2 years from the date of the accident. That law changed in 2023. It used to be 4 years, but now it's 2. But waiting even a month or 2 can hurt your case. CCTV footage gets recorded over, accident scenes get cleaned up, medical records get lost sometimes. The sooner your lawyer gets to work, the stronger your case is going to be. A good attorney will handle phone calls with the insurance companies, gather evidence, and make sure you don't make any of the other mistakes I just mentioned. They can also help you avoid falling into common traps, like accepting a quick, lowball settlement or accidentally saying something that weakens your case. We've had clients call us the day after an accident, which allowed us to send a team to the scene, track down security camera footage, take photographs and videos, take measurements of the scene, and even get statements from witnesses while their memories are still fresh. That type of evidence can make all the difference in your case, but you must act fast to get the most evidence. Remember, most Florida personal injury lawyers, myself included, work on a contingency fee basis. That means you don't pay anything up front. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. We've represented clients all throughout the state, from Tampa all the way down to Key West and everywhere in between and around. Don't go at it alone. The law can be complicated, and insurance companies have teams of people and deep resources whose job it is to pay you less. To quickly recap, here are the 5 things you must not do after a motorcycle accident in Florida. Number 1, don't leave the scene without collecting the right information. Number 2, don't skip medical treatment or try and tough it out. Number 3, don't give recorded statements to insurance companies without talking to your lawyer. Number 4, don't post about your accident or your recovery on social media. Number 5, don't delay talking to an experienced Florida motorcycle accident attorney. If you avoid these mistakes, you'll protect your health, your legal rights, and your chances of getting the compensation that you deserve. Now, you're wondering what happens next? How long will it take to settle my accident claim? You're not alone. That's the number 1 question I get from Florida riders and clients. The process can be complicated, and there are lots of factors that influence that timeline, but missing key steps can delay your recovery and your case. So click on my next video. How long will it take to settle my accident claim? I'll break down the step-by-step process, what you can expect at each stage, and how to speed things up without risking your full compensation. It's a must-watch if you want to stay in control and avoid more headaches down the road. I'll see you over there.